There's certain fights on a card where you get excited because of the unbiased level of skill. Anytime Israel fights, I think we're all getting pumped up, right? You just want to see that skill go up against somebody. But then you talk about a Matt Brown and Bryan Barberena fight, and you think to yourself, this fight's in Columbus. I remember Ohio. I remember that there was a point in time where it was synonymous with Ohio. Matt Brown, Rich Franklin. I wish Rich Franklin was headlining this card. Come on over from ONE FC. Let's get you in one more fight. Maybe a Silva Rich Franklin rematch. But that's what this fight represents to me. And I think it's why I'm so excited for this fight. Outside of all of the highly skilled flyweight fights on this card, there's something about watching Matt Brown fight in Ohio that's going to be so fun. When you think about how, I guess, they've had so much representation. I think that when you think back, there's only so many fighters that are very vocal about where they're from. And I'll always attribute Matt Brown and Rich Franklin to that Ohio, Cincinnati, Columbus area. And I can think, even as a Canadian, that was like a big part of the upbringing of this sport, for me at least, with these guys. And he's going to have that opportunity. Now, is this something where we might see Matt Brown retire with a big win? Potentially. I think that him fighting in his hometown, taking on a guy like Bryan Barberena, there's an opportunity for a big finish, and there's an opportunity to call it quits. Do I see him as the type of guy that calls it quits if he doesn't feel like it? Hell no. I do think that this is the perfect opportunity for him to do that. And let's be real. Talk about a Super Saiyan opportunity. I don't think there's a guy that's going to be more Super Saiyan fighting in front of his hometown. And let's talk about Bryan Barberena, right? The last time he fought Jason Witt, we have our opinions on Jason Witt, and I think that Bryan Barberena is a predominantly strong striker with some power, and always having that upset capability in the past. That's who we rode for a Super Saiyan pick, and unfortunately, he couldn't get it done early. And I think with Jason Witt, if you can't get it done early, he tends to be able to deal with the damage moving forward and is able to take over fights. That's how he gets most of his wins. And so, if there was a path for Bryan in this fight, it's to attack the body. It's for him to utilize that early part of the chin, withstanding a lot of that damage, and just going hard to the body and the legs. I think that Matt Brown is definitely a forward-back fighter. I think that his footwork is going to be a work in progress based on his style and generation that he comes from, right? He's just very much a throw two, eat one, throw three, eat two type of guy. And for me, the most susceptible part for Matt Brown has been the body. And I think if Bryan Barberena can set that up, it's going to be a much closer fight than people think. But at the same time, Matt Brown's going to have so much hype going into this fight. I think that he's going to have a good game plan. And the fact of the matter is, Bryan Barberena just doesn't seem like the same fighter after the last few beatings that he's taken. I think the Vincent Luque one, it comes to mind a little bit. It's just, over time, you can tell that he's definitely not the same fighter. And I think in this case, Matt Brown, the longevity, the experience, and just, being able to exploit the chin and some takedowns, I think that's what's going to be really important for Matt here. If he gets this fight to the ground and gets some top position with some good ground and pound, I mean, for me, it's the damage, right? It's the amount of damage that Bryan's going to be able to take. It's the amount that Brown's going to be able to inflict. And if on the flip side, if Bryan's able to kind of get out of those areas, really just set up his combinations, go for the body, maybe get some leg kicks in it, and get some top position for himself, I mean, that's how you're going to beat Matt Brown. Tire him out, get that body work going, and see if you can get that late finish. If not, a good decision win. So, for me, I think there's a lot more stacked on Matt Brown to be a favorite here. I like Matt Brown as a minus 150, and to be honest with you, it's just, I don't even think that there's more paths to victory for Matt Brown. I just think that he's in a position where it's hard to see him not perform well given the circumstances. And in my heart, there's a part of me that believes that this could be the retirement fight. So him taking this very seriously just seems like the perfect tale of the tape going into what could be your last UFC fight. And so I think Bryan Barberena is going to have his hands full come Saturday. And I think that he has a lot to do in terms of putting Matt Brown away. And if he keeps going for the head, he keeps going for these areas where, Matt Brown's just going to eat it and keep coming forward, I don't think he's going to have very much success. So let's go with Matt Brown as minus 150. Wow, this is a pick'em. So Matt Brown, Bryan Barberena open as a minus 115. And you know what? They have not moved. I think that as it looks, Matt Brown's becoming a slight favorite. But it very much is, from an MMA perspective, a pick'em. And let's be real, guys. I think Matt Brown, even to finish as a best bet, that's a possibility here. And definitely consider the under. I think the under, I think not going the distance or whichever one you prefer, and Matt Brown to finish are all options here. And let's be real, you're hedging with the idea that Bryan Barberena might be able to finish too. So keep it locked to SookyMMA. We got a few more fights to go. So pumped to talk about the rest. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you soon. Peace.